Hey everyone, and welcome to another explainer for the Kaizen Academy community. Today, we're going to break down one of the most powerful concepts in continuous improvement, just in time. It's a philosophy that is absolutely ruthless when it comes to eliminating waste.
Let's kick things off with this quote from a supervisor who actually lived through a JIT transformation. A crime. Wow, that is a strong word, but it perfectly sets the stage for the problem that just-in-time was created to solve. So what exactly was this so-called crime? Well, the crime was a system built on a really simple, but as it turns out, deeply flawed idea. Just produce as much as you can, as fast as you can. To really get the genius of the solution, we've got to first understand the massive problem with this old way of thinking. See, traditional manufacturing ran on what we call a push system. Basically, every station, every process just makes as much as it possibly can and then shoves it on to the next step, whether that next step needs it or not. And this, almost without fail, leads to the single worst kind of waste, or muda, overproduction. So what's the big deal? Why is making too much stuff so terrible? Well, think of overproduction as this villain in disguise. Sure, it eats up raw materials way too early and bloats all your costs for storage and transport, but the worst part, the really sneaky part, is that it hides all your other problems. All those defects, those machine breakdowns, those little inefficiencies, they get buried under these giant piles of inventory. It gives you this false sense of security, while the real issues are just festering underneath.
So how in the world do you fight this crime? Well, you fight it with a totally revolutionary philosophy that was developed at Toyota, one that completely flips the old logic of production right on its head.
And that elegant solution is just in time, or JIT. It's a system designed to just hunt down and eliminate every single activity that doesn't add value. The goal is as simple as it is profound. Make only what is needed, only when it is needed, and in the exact amount needed, period.
And believe it or not, this isn't some newfangled idea. We're talking all the way back in 1938. Toyota's founder, Kiichiro Toyota, he laid out the core principle right there. Not too early, not too late, just in time. It sounds so simple, right? But putting it into practice is what changed the entire world of manufacturing.
Okay, so that's the philosophy. But how does this thing actually work on the factory floor? It's not magic, you know? It relies on a few core concepts that completely change the entire rhythm of production and create this beautiful, smooth, continuous flow.
First up is something called takt time. And honestly, the best way to think of it is as the heartbeat of your production line. But it's a heartbeat that's perfectly synchronized with your customer. It's the precise speed you need to produce at to meet what people are actually buying. Not faster, not slower. This aligns the whole system with what the customer really wants. Second, it uses what's called a pull system. Now, what's really fascinating here is where the idea even came from. Taiichi Ohno, one of the main architects of the Toyota production system, was famously inspired by, of all things, American supermarkets. Think about it. They don't just shove random stuff on the shelves. They only restock what you, the customer, have actually taken away. JIT applies that exact same logic to the factory. And that brings us to this brilliant analogy that really illustrates the true power of JIT. By intentionally getting rid of inventory, by lowering the water in the river, you can no longer ignore the rocks. And what are the rocks? They're your problems. Quality defects, machine downtime, bottlenecks in the process. With JIT, there's nowhere to hide. You have no choice but to confront your problems and actually solve them. Okay, theory is one thing, but the results, that's what really counts. So let's take a look at a case study of a company that went all in on JIT and saw some truly dramatic results. So this is Aisin Seiki, a company that makes all sorts of things, from car parts to mattresses. After they implemented just-in-time, their productivity didn't just inch up, it skyrocketed by a factor of 4.5. And let's be clear, that's not a 4.5% increase. That's a 450% improvement. Just incredible. And what about all that inventory we were just talking about? Well, they went from holding an entire month's worth of stock down to less than 2 days' worth. I mean, can you just imagine the amount of cash, the physical space, and the resources that freed up? It's a total game changer. And here's the real kicker. This is the part a lot of people miss. All of this crazy efficiency didn't make them rigid and inflexible. No, it did the exact opposite. It gave them so much flexibility that they were able to more than triple the variety of products they could offer to their customers. That right there is the power of a lean system. So this brings us to what might be the most crucial point of all. Just in time isn't just a set of tools you can install like a new piece of software. It is a fundamental, deep-seated change in culture. And it requires an unwavering commitment from absolutely everyone.
Listen to what Art Burns says here. This is a guy who led a legendary JIT transformation at the company Wiremold. He absolutely nails it. This kind of change can't bubble up from the bottom. Leadership has to be the one driving it, living it, and being right there on the shop floor making it happen.
And this is where it all comes full circle for us. Ultimately, just-in-time and Kaizen are really two sides of the same coin. JIT is the system that creates the conditions to expose all your problems, and Kaizen is the mindset, the set of methods you use to solve them, every single day right there in the Gemba, where the work actually gets done. So this leaves us with a really provocative thought to take back to our own work environments. You see, just-in-time isn't really about having no inventory, it's about having no problems. So the question for all of us is this: what rocks is your inventory currently hiding? If you're passionate about uncovering those rocks and building a culture of problem solvers, well, you're in the right place. Make sure you subscribe to Kaizen Academy. We're dedicated to bringing you more explainers just like this one to help you on your continuous improvement journey. Thanks for watching.